My first advanced screening ever that just also happens to be an anime flick. Was it worth it? Oh yes it was. Children, or as in the original Japanese title it's called, and pardon me for my mispronunciation, Ōkami Kodomo no Ame to Yuki. Now this movie comes from director Mamoru Hosoda, who is also the director of The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and Summer Wars, two films I have not had the chance to really see all the way through. I've heard they're really good, I just haven't had a chance to watch them all the way. And so this was really the first time I've ever seen one of Mamoru's films all the way from beginning to end. And how was it? I'm not going to even just stall this anymore, people. This movie is gorgeous. So gorgeous. I cannot... I swear, I've been putting up with so many, like, crap movies, or movies I really kind of didn't want to see, or did not willingly want to see for a past while. I mean, I sat through Highlander 2, I sat through all the Evil Dead movies. Granted, those were a surprise, and I sat through the remake, and I was like, can I just watch a movie of my own accord now? And luckily now I've seen Wolf Children, and it was so worth it. It was so worth it. I mean, I'm not trying to get so emotionally involved that I go fanboyism, but I'm just trying to exhibit my excitement now and just say, like, this movie is so good. Alright, before I go completely nuts, let me go ahead and explain the story. Now, the story follows a young woman named Hana, who comes across this young man in a college who is not exactly enlisted in the school. And she finds an interest in him and finds out that he's actually a half man, half wolf. And so the two start to bond, and the two start to form a romance, and they get together, and suddenly they have children. Unfortunately, something terrible happens to the family that renders the mother having to take care of the two children by herself. And trust me, that's as far as I'm going to go into the plot, because honestly, I probably just described at least the first, maybe, fifth of the movie, because I really do not want to spoil this for you all, because seriously, if you watch this movie, you are going to be pleased by what you see. It is a beautiful and heartwarming and sometimes heartbreaking movie. If I had to equate this to anything, is that this movie, at least the first fifth of the movie, when Hana and this wolfman get together, it's kind of like people say, like, the first 10 minutes of Up are. It feels very genuine, you get a sense of the life they have, but it's more like these two get together and you see, like, these two actually have a connection with each other, and you buy the fact that these two end up falling in love with each other. See the determination that Hana has, even when things get tough, to keep smiling and keep pushing things forward and trying to raise her kids in a very difficult situation, and you really get the sense that you respect her for that, and you get, like, props to her for being so tough and being so determined to raise her kids properly and trying to raise them on her own. And the children in this movie, Ame and Yuki, are adorable. They're absolutely adorable. I mean, I'm not usually the best when it comes with kids. I usually hate the sound of a screaming baby. But these kids, I adore them. They are so cute and beautiful. I was just like, I wouldn't honestly, like, if these were even my own kids, like, it would be like, oh, that's so precious. I'm usually not that type of person, but I just ended up just going along with it, and I had a lot of fun with it. And seeing how, like, each one of them can turn into a wolf themselves, like, when a certain attitude of theirs comes out, is actually really funny and really cute to see. And as they grow older, you see the internal conflict that they have with themselves and figuring out, well, what do I feel like? Do I want to be a wolf? Do I want to be a human? Do I want to be both? You see that conflict, and each of them deals with that throughout the course of this movie, as well as the mother, and realizing that her children are going to have to choose their own path. In fact, that's the main reason why I love this movie so much. It has a message for both kids and parents, realizing that kids, you are going to have conflicts that are going to be very hard to deal with at first, but eventually you will be able to learn to find your own path, and you have the chance to make your own way in the world and decide for yourself what you want to do. As well as for parents, we're saying that the kids are going to probably make decisions that are not so much in terms of your best interest or personal intentions, but it makes them happy, and you have to learn to accept that. As long as it makes them happy and not hurt anyone else, you have to learn to accept that for them. That kids can make their own path, and children having to realize they make their own path for themselves, and no one can decide that for them. I love movies when they can do that and not force feed it down their throat. Now, as for the presentation in this movie, it is absolutely gorgeous. I was like, there was multiple shots in this movie where I was just like, I would love if this was a painting or a mural in my bedroom. I would love a scenery like this, or better yet, just live in scenery like this. I'm usually not the biggest, like, nature person, but I just adored the scenery in this movie. It's like, this is almost like a paradise in some ways, the way that the artistry presents itself. Like, there's one scene involving the mother and the two children playing in the snow, and I was just like, this is like whimsical, almost childhood-like whimsical, and it's so fun that you just go along with the ride and you have so much fun doing it. But even in those moments, there's a subtle undertone of like a little bit of dark and a little bit of the seriousness is coming with the fact that these kids are growing older, and you realize that eventually they're gonna have to make their own path, and just there's always that constant shift between the lighthearted side of the story and these three people living their own lives, and the mother trying to raise these kids and the kids trying to come to terms with what they are. And seeing that transition into an older kid or a young adult, just seeing all those elements combined together, it really makes this interesting. It's kind of like Bambi, where you don't focus on, say, a villain, or there's like a character arc or like an end goal in mind. You're just watching these people live their lives and come to terms with their own decisions and what their paths are going to lead them down, even if it hurts somebody in the end. Another thing I need to mention is the voice acting and subtitles itself. Now, Funimation was kind enough to release this in my local Angelica theater, just 5 minutes walking distance from my apartment, and they presented this with subtitles. Now, I don't mind subtitles at all. In fact, I usually prefer them over dubs, but again, I'm not one of those really stingy people that hates dubs no matter what, or just like nitpick the crap out of dubs for no good reason. I'm just not one of those people. If you prefer subs over dubs, that's fine. If you prefer dubs over subs, also fine. It's just your personal preference. I have no right to judge. But the voice acting they actually presented really helps sell the characters. You really get the sense of the kid's excitement, the mother's frustration, anxiety. You really get the whole range of emotions from these characters just from their facial expressions, the voices themselves. And the subtitles, the translation actually worked pretty well. There might have been a grammatical error here or there, but it was probably so minuscule that none of it detracted from the experience at all. So if you're going to watch with subtitles, you're going to have a pretty good translation, and you're going to get invested in the characters and the story and the voices, everything that goes along with this movie. And the soundtrack, pitch perfect for this movie. I just could not help but be swept away into this world that, even though may exist, but it has that mystical undertone where you get the sense that there is sense of a magic in this world that used to be there but is not really present anymore. And just getting lost in this world, I just wanted to step into the screen and just enjoy the ride along with it. I have not been so emotionally swept away by a movie, by all of its aspects all at once, in a long time. I haven't, and I will say this right now. If you do not cry, not up, or want to cry at the end of this movie, I don't know what to say to you. I really don't, because this to me is one of the best. I dare not spoil the ending of what happens to these kids and what happens to the mother at the very end. But I will say this, it is the best bittersweet ending since Toy Story 3. Yes, I said it. The Wolf Children has the best bittersweet ending I've seen since Toy Story 3. I swear, like when I watched Toy Story 3, I literally had my old Woody and Buzz Lightyear figures next to me while watching the movie, and I teared up at the end. I mean, I didn't have anything like that while I was watching Wolf Children, but I was like, that was so beautiful. I literally started crying in the theater at the very end. I was like, that is beautiful. That is a hands down beautiful. If I had two hands right now, I would clap so hard for it right now. I know I sound really emotionally invested in this. I'm trying to compose myself as much as I can, but I just can't help but exhibit my excitement after seeing this movie. And it's just like, I think I might have my movie of the year right now. It's still kind of early-ish in the year, so we'll have to wait and see, but for right now, this is the best movie I've seen this year so far. And I just, like, if you have the chance to watch this movie, if it's in your town, anywhere near you, go watch it. It is worth it. Believe me. and I think the Blu-ray comes out this winter, so it's more than ready to go out and pick up. And so, if you have the chance to go get this movie, get it. I'm serious. It is really, really good. In all honesty, I'm really surprised I love this movie as much as I do, because this is a movie about a single mother trying to raise 2 children who are half wolves. I mean, that shouldn't relate to me at all. I'm a single 21-year-old college student. Being a dad is not in my cards right now, and it's not in any of my plans in the near future. I mean, would I like to be a dad someday? Sure. In fact, this movie has made me more excited about being a father one day, and that's no mean feat. I mean, that's something that's not taken lightly. There might have been a couple of plot points I wish occurred in a different way, or I wish I could have seen it happen in this particular order, but that being said, I'm reviewing the movie I saw, not the movie I want. I can't judge it because of what I want. I have to review what I saw, and that's not fair if I did the opposite. So a premise that was surprisingly relatable, it had me invested in it all the way through, characters I loved, a bittersweet ending, a story that I just adored, the right balance of both seriousness and funny at the same time, a score that was absolutely whimsical, artistry that was spectacular to look at, it was picture perfect quality. I'm gonna have to say that Wolf Children is absolutely worth every penny. So everybody, that's my review of Wolf Children. I hope you enjoyed it. And as a question to end off on this review, what's your favorite bittersweet ending ever? What's the favorite ending for you that was emotional, you were invested in the storyline, but it also made you want to cry, but you were also loving it for how good it was? It doesn't matter if it's a game, if it's a book, if it's a movie or an anime or anything at all. Just what is your favorite bittersweet ending from anything ever? Comment below, tell me what you think, and tell me if you've seen Wolf Children, what did you think about it? And just, again, let's just discuss the movie and have fun with it. So, until next time, everybody, I'm Perry, the One-Armed Legend. You name it, I can play it. God damn, that was a good movie.